ci biir protest mu jumul fa naa 5 petitions yoo xam ne jébbaloon ngeen ko ci institution yu bari ci réew mi but ci biir petition bi amoon na tamit time boo xam ne joxoon ngeen ko government bi pour ñu muy 90 days so léegi 90 days yooyu nag moom jeex na so ñu bëgg a xam what is next for Gala because since then dégguñ maybe gars yi ñu ngi wax ne mbiri court case bi xam naa dinañ ci ñëw but lan moo xaw tekki tekkaral bi wala communication bi déggaguñ dara after bi nga xam ne 90 days yi jeex na te waxtaanaa naa ñenn ci yéen before 90 days yi muy jeex ci ay yàgga suñu interview yi ñu am li ngeen waxoon mooy bu 90 days jeexee di ngeen communicate pour wax what is your next move so tey fan la Gala tollu ak ci lan ngeen nekk.
Right, thank you very much, Jeremy. Gala ñu fi rek. Garami. Jeremy, Mohammed, let me use Mohammed. So Gala ñu fi and things are going fine. Ñu fi and then like you said, soon protest July 23rd. The 90 days elapsed in October 23rd. That is 3 months, right? 3 months, some days. And then thank God we have received response from all the institutions that we have written to before the 90 days elapsed. The last institution who sent a letter of response, Monega National Sport Council. And we wrote to the Office of the President, Nyarlem Fabinda. Then we wrote to the National Assembly, they have responded. We wrote to Galga, they have responded. And we also wrote to National Sport Council. And Bunta yep responded. And then we've communicated to this. I don't know how the communication missed, but we have communicated that we have received all response, and we are the response stage, review stage like that. Gis nga lunde wan rek ñun what we are doing lu nekk di def is not just some form of chaotic act. What we want to do is to ensure that if we have the arms of government and if there is fourth state, we always say is the civil society and the media. And then Garami Lu held fee from May 8th, soon first protest to now, I will use President Barrow's term, is unprecedented. And there may be a lot of time that if I'm talking about Galanak, thank God that it's not nekut ku nekk dafa buga Gala lu nekk di def wala dafa nangu wala agree to what Gala nekk di def and dafa ñu xam ne dafa support Gala but the Gala lum tax mu jóg ñu ngi ko achieve on a daily basis, that is accountability and transparency. I can be corrected and then I know sometimes the government respond, but in the history of this country I'm not sure there have been any time where government intentionally respond to protest, especially written petitions to them. Office of the President was the second. I think Galga were the first to respond. And I think when Galga responded, I appeared on TV and then, we had an analysis of the response. And then the Office of the President responded. It was a cabinet citizen meeting. I can be corrected. Why for Nalu first time, the doomi réew mi jóg ñu laajte president questions ñu petition president's office, the presidency itself, ñu bindal laajte president pour mu tonto, and he did that. 6 to 7 cabinet ministers came out, even though our supporters, the well-wishers of Gala, some thought that it was unwise for us to respond to them. But governance is about responsiveness. And if we petition a government and the government responded, it's a thesis that they responded with. I would call it a thesis. It's a long press conference with a pamphlet that they read out of responding to each of our positions. But first we will get into what the response are. But now what is important that I want to put in place, that what Gala is working on is working fine. I know the question is not just you. A lot of people outside now, even if I post my personal post or Hakim, Gala, hana yen dolem protestat, hana Gala hana dengan de, like we're not. there are processes to everything. Te ñun yoon bi leen nekk di toppa into movement building, into movement principles and all of that. So we have received all the petitions, to be clear, before 90 days. No petition came, in fact, a week before the 90 days elapsed. The last petition was from the National Sport Council, and it came almost 2 weeks before the 90-day elapsed. And then first, we want to thank all the institutions for responding to the citizens' need and the citizens' answers, because that itself is what democracy is, and that's what itself is what accountability and transparency look like. 2 weeks ago, we had our first meeting, and then we are at the review stage of each of these response from the institutions. Then neka the review. Then neka the whole institution bu neka ñun leen wax lu mu leen laajte ak ñooñu la moo nekk seen response bi te duñ mën a def loolu on a haphazard way. Okay, president of the office of the president have responded, ñu dem ñu oote press conference wala National Sport Council. No, dañ bëgg a investigate, dañ bëgg a am that interaction with the materials, and also we do our findings, because if you look at all what they responded, there are other parties that are involved. Let's say, for example, Office of the President. In their response, we have satellite institutions and other institutions that they name and say, this is what is happening here. So we are at the review stage. And as we speak, the review from our end have ended, and now we have taken our petitions and the response from these institutions, because there are legal basics. Some of the response are directing us to section this of the constitution or the law that is binding on them, or the legal framework that is within their operations. So now we have handed over these petitions and their response to our lawyers to also do a review from the legal perspective. That is one. And that's where the process of the petitions are, and that is where we are for now, and we will communicate. Dañoo génna waxtaan ak askan bi suñ paree ñun tamit suñ respond to a response of the institutions that have been petitioned. Noonu la dialogue bi di demee. Te foofu leen nekk xam naa ne nit dañ dee yàkkamti waaye fii leen toolu. Next step Gala fu mu toolu mooy soo bàyyee xel after the July 23rd protest, the other thing that ñu initiated was a nationwide tour. Because advocacy is in two forms. You have confrontational, which is very ideal and situated if necessary. Then you have what is also called constructive. The constructive mode, awareness raising, dialogue, and all of that. So our next step in January, if all goes well, then you have nationwide tour. A nationwide tour where we will talk to Gambians in a form of a caravan, in a form of community engagements about their rights, about their responsibilities, about the state of our nation. Gambia from Tolutei, since independent. Lolo tamit dañ ko def. And in between, we have seen, we have picked up the Omar case, the Omar Badge. When he was allegedly beaten and killed by the police as the case is going on, we handled that case. And then that is one thing about Gala ne, doomi réew mi dañ gom Gala. And then that the new position in a way in a society ne, we cannot just do anything because we just want to be seen and heard. Because we have been following the Omar case. We are the one that offered the legal assistance to the Omar case. You know, the Dimbale family, and that process is also going. And we monitor. Every day we have a reporter that goes to that court, and then we are getting updates about it, and we are following that one as well. And then, we've seen also we are following the Meet with the People tour, which is a special topic that we're going to discuss. So Gala is alive and kicking. And sometimes we don't just have to surface because we just want to surface. We need to surface when it's necessary and when we have substantial things to face the public. So, but for now, what we are is we are reviewing the response from the government, both from a political perspective and from a legal perspective, and we are preparing for the nationwide tour. We are following the Omar Badji case.
ok so balaa may def ci panel si pour ñu react ci sa response ñu bari am na ñoo xam ne wala ñenn ñi dañuy criticize Gala si ne like maybe Gala xamul lu mu war a xeex ak lu moo taxee moo tax dafa dugal boppam si benn situation boo xam ne dafa foni mooy léegi yéen a ngi am na yenn seen member yoo xam ne ñu ngi dem court code bi ñu ngi ko ajoon di delay di ajoon ñu bari am na ñu jàpp ne even some of Gala members ñoom dañ jàpp ne government bi dafa nekk di use loolu tactique di ko play against them pour just rek delay leen bañ war a génna dem protest wala nagam ak nagam so si yooyu noonu lan ngay tontu.
Well, comme man dama dee find it very difficult pour tontu nit yi right. Lu ma bëgg a wax mooy ne fu mu nekk nii Gala we are facing two prosecution cases. One suñ team bu ñu génnoon for the period protest. Gaa ñu dem court. I think their next appearance is on the 10th. And that is the International Human Rights Day, actually. And then the second batch, the National Audit Office, they're going to court, charged for unlawful assembly, I think section 25, section 165, 160, I'm not very sure of the criminal code, that is unlawful assembly. And whether the government, the government is using a delay tactic, or they use the court case to deter us from taking the streets. Look, you understand if the government lol def, then sonal sen bopa. Because I'm going to court. I'm under criminal charges for unlawful assembly and common nuisance. Why elek si dara xewé xamné man dama gom ne protest moko wara solve dama génn. Because man suñ second génn bi ñun man kémo suñ second national audit dafa fekk ne we are on the charge for unlawful assembly. Let's say for example man when they arrested me for talking to the media, when they don't have any grounds, they revoke my charges on unlawful assembly that happened the day ñu yóbbu the Pura protesters to mile 2. So either ways, what the government would have mooy, if it's a delay tactic, we know that our courts have a lot, even that if not a political case like ours, our courts like delaying. Some courts don't they go see court hearings. But what lu may wax rek mooy ñun when we decided to form Gala, when we decided that our mode of activism or advocacy is going to be confrontational, we opted for anything we have. So going to court is one thing we know we will do. And then the government have two things to do. It's either the court take its due cost, fast track the cases, prosecute. It's either we are released, charges dropped, or we are taken to mile 2. But what they cannot stop if what they are doing is delay tactic to prevent us from taking the streets. Unless there is nothing necessary to take the streets, we will take the streets. If there is anything necessary to speak up, we will speak up. Because at the end of the day, those courts, those laws must reflect the general principles and values of human rights. So if somebody comes out to do a press conference, you charge him, put him on the incommunicado for 3 nights and take him to court and wasting him time to come to court every day and adjourn courts, that is on them. They are wasting state resources, they are wasting their time. We enjoy going to court because we know going to court is simply because we stood by the constitution of this country. We defended democracy, we defended the rule of law. So we continue to go to court. But they cannot silence us taken to court. They cannot kill Gala taken to court. Since Gala was established, Gambia will never be the same again, and that mantra will continue on a daily basis, regardless of what charges are put on us.
All right. What after it, because yen key okay Gala nañ xool 2027 National Assembly election mu ne di nga gis lot of these people ñoo xam ne dañoo declare seen candidature pour wax ne dañoo taxaw dañoo contest because of am na ñoo xam ne dañ nekk Gala just pour wut name just to build their own name su ko defee nag ñu mën a use loolu for political reason ak yooyu noonu so loolu tamit boo ñëwee ba fii du ñàkk ma wax la ko because tey suñu nga tey itam you are here as spokesperson of Gala so nga leeral quickly rek ci loolu noonu.
Garami. Political participation is a fundamental right to every citizen. Gala is not an angel group. Gala doomi réew mi ñoo ko taxawal te ñoo si bokka te the 1997 constitution is very clear to right to association, assembly and political participation. So Gala tey say boo si buggee run for presidency say boo runs for presidency loolu amul dara ak Gala te ñu nekk Gala ku nekk Gala tey ku nekk Gala either the central executive or who xam ne dañ foog ne they are members of Gala by status of being Gambians dañu am seen tur yu mu war a am du tey ka moo xamul fi Kek Sané balaa Gala ka moo xamul Hakim balaa Gala ka moo xamul Aliou Ba balaa Gala so gis nga kenn du dugal boppam su lu xam ne mun naa faa ñàkk a bakkenam because dafa bëgg a tur boppam ban tur boo xam ne kenn du ko am waaye these are things boo xam ne loolu moo la dañuy wax ne gis nga in political participation there are two forms it's either rejection with unconstructive criticism and acceptance dafa am ñu foog ne Gala dañ bëgg a nekk président dañ bëgg a jël dëkk bi man I face a state minister first di mu gis ma lu ma war a yéen da ngeen bëgg a jël dëkk bi waaye du nga ko nangu jël dëkk bi pour waaye si Hakim foog ne tey wala Bayo foog ne tey wala Keks foog ne tey context for National Assembly dafa bëgg a transition from activism on the streets on the sideline to enter to effect a change that is his political right that has nothing to do with Gala and da nga war a understand ñu yëpp nekk Gala unless few of us that are not partisan I do not belong to any political party waaye most of them belong to political party balaa Gala so tey Kek Sané moo xam ne PDOIS la nekk PDOIS suñ ko waxee ne mu delloowaat Ñaamina mu dem taxaw foofu xanaa dafa def loolu because dafa dugg a Gala déedéet political party mi moo bëgg mu taxaw Baye Sonko si bëggee contest on the UDP ak keneen loolu seen right la loolu bokkul ak ne dañ foom Gala ne dañ bëgg a dem National Assembly waaye ñun dee wax rek man lu ma dee wax mooy I respect people's opinion everybody have a right to opinion and the same right they have to criticize and question that ñun dañ nekk di ut tur yàlla ñu yàgga ut tur pour defar dëkk bi
leer na Mr. Badafa